All right. So we have. You're at 6 VP. I think, yeah. Hold on. 1, 2, 3,
Yep,
4.
6.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Just wanted to make sure that wasn't off. Pretty sure we will roll the weather. I think I remember even DMing you about it. Yes. Cool. All right. So let's go straight into rallies. Also got to take off pins. There we go. Are there any rallies? Oh, right. I got those guys. Those guys. I got to repair. So I'll just go with the DM guy first. We're an AA10. +4, it's not going to do anything. And then the guy in CC8.
Are your 8-1s commissars?
No, they're just regular guys. At this point, it's just 9 zeros, 10 zeros. I think that's actually it for regular ASL. We won't, or regular ASL, quote unquote. We won't really see commissars until, or 8+1s, I guess, as well. But I think those guys are Valor the Guards only. So it's kind of a, we won't see them unless they're SSR'd, or till we get a little bit, like only Russians, or only those two, the 10-0 and 9-0.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was basically just the last pack that was like, yeah, we're just making entire sides leaders, commissars. I don't know why that word wasn't getting out. All right, so my guy in CC8 will rally finally, and then I'm gonna try and repair the gun. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Gun, no, damn. And that's it for my guys.
Okay, I don't have anybody that I can rally, I think. Yeah, no, just the guy in the back and can't self-rally. This will go. Alright, so I will just start with my 2 machine guns going left to right.
Okay. Nice.
Yes and no.
All right, we'll go straight into prep fire. I still don't like that. So probably not. I might as well just do the infantry gun first. We'll shoot against DD5. So it's a 10. What a terrible number. There's no +1 because you're not small. You're not in motion. The range is 6, so even though I use red numbers, I still hit miraculously. No rate, of course. It is a 70mm gun, short, which means my 2 kill is 8. You have no armor, so there's no minus. Range is 1, 2, 3. I have no pluses, so 8 or less. Oh, thank God. So no burning wreck, and you'll get a crew save check.
Which is 2 dice or 1.
It's always 2 dice, and it's show info. Your crew survival is 4, so unfortunately not. All right. Now that does mean that basically becomes a wreck, so you can still use it for. It can be used for cover or hindrance and stuff like that. So at least somewhat still useful.
You killed my armor.
Sweet.
I am not going to win this scenario, by the way.
I'm sorry, what?
I am not going to win this scenario, by the way. Just telling you that now.
I'm gonna do U8 to V10, so 5 up 2, I think it is 5 up 1. 7 on 5. 7 on 5 is a PTC. And no rate.
Nope, they're fine.
Yeah. All right. Is there anybody else I want to shoot with? No, none of this is good. Yeah. Movement phase. U9 is going to... Actually, I don't think I can even do that. No, you know what? I don't think you can actually do that. That sucks. Okay. It's gonna try and dash, but it's not a road. I'm pretty sure you can only dash across a road.
Yep.
All right. Well, U9 is still gonna move. They're gonna move to U8 for 2.
The medium machine gun in X10 will fire at them.
Okay. So it's a
4 up 1.
Yeah. 8 on 4. Maybe a PTC. No.
No, nothing. Just missed it.
Anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. They will continue to U7 for 2, or sorry, 3.
Okay.
And then into U6 for 4.
All right.
And then late CX to get to V5.
Okay.
The leader and the squad that just rallied will assault move to DD7.
Okay. I don't think I can actually see that from anywhere.
Yeah. The leader in AA10 is going to assault move to Z9.
Okay. The 337 and X10 will fire at him.
Okay.
So going to be 3
Down 1.
down 1. Nothing. And why not? The heavy machine gun in J9 will also fire at him.
Okay.
So they CX'd, so it's going to be a...
It'll be flat instead.
6 flat, yeah. And I break the gun.
Jesus.
Okay.
All right. Well, if he assault move, then I'm going to this guy is going to normal move 337 for 1. Oops,
Okay.
I'll leave it on top. And then he goes over the wall into Z8 for 3.
Okay.
Then no, he'll stay there. You'd probably have line of sight on that, so I don't want to. FF9 will assault move to EE10.
Okay.
And EE10 will assault move to FF9.
Alright.
And that's it. Defense fire.
H9 will fire at AA10.
H9. Oh, okay, yep.
So that's going to be a 3 up 2, I believe.
Yes.
7 on 3, conditional.
Can't take a pin check, but DMs regardless.
The units in E10 will fire across the road at CC9.
Okay.
So that's going to be a 5 up 2.
Yep. All right, well, that has to get revealed.
5 on 5 is a 1 MC.
It's +1. Was that counted?
So 6 on 5 is a normal round check.
6 on 5. Okay.
God damn it.
Heat of battle. 8. Not liking this. I think I'm. Does it say what I count for as heat of battle? Treated as red Chinese and have underscored morale. Okay. Where's my rule book?
What do you need to know? I got the Chinese open already.
I'm just looking for what their modifiers are for heat of battle. Because I'm not sure if it counts them as Russian.
All red Chinese are considered partisans for all purposes, but are also immune to cowering.
Okay, so they get a +1. Alright, so 8, they get +1 for being partisans. They are not elite. I think that's it. So they get a +1, so 9 berserk. Elite. Italians, Axis miners. Treat as battle hardening if no known enemy. Japanese blocks, closest known enemy, ocean. No, okay, so they just go berserk. Well, thankfully that was after my movement. Infantry, heat of battle, berserk.
So next turn they'll have to pick the closest and charge them.
Basically. The closest in hexes, and then my choice.
Okay, D9 will fire at EE10, not using the flamethrower, just the regular fire.
Okay. You don't have long range on it anyways.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just being thorough there. So, all right, so it's going to be 4 up 2.
Mm-hmm.
These guys will unconceal and will also fire.
Okay.
It's going to be 6 up 2. The unit and the light machine gun in N9 will fire at R8.
Okay. It's a 3 up 2.
And the medium machine gun in L9. No, we're not going to fire. And it's fire.
I have nothing. Route phase. My guy in AA10 doesn't have to move, but he's kind of going to get hosed regardless. So I will have him attempt to move. The nearest spot that he can go to is technically over here, and even more technically, CC9. So he will run through the road. He has to take interdiction, which is... It's a check against his morale, so I'll just do that, I guess. Morale check. 4. I'm just going to check to make sure if there's any modifiers here. Interdiction. Browning unit which enters an open ground hex without low crawl in both the LOS and normal range of an unbroken enemy unit. Also, we'll just take this off. Browning unit which fails its introduction, NMC suffers... Oh, it's... Okay, so... He would suffer such casualty reduction, but it's a normal morale check, and there doesn't appear to be any modifiers. Cool. So, thankfully he survives, so he gets into the building in CC9. He will continue for 5 into CC8. And that's it for routes, I think.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
Alright, advanced phase. The unit in V5 will advance to V6. The unit in Z8 will advance to... I actually kind of like this position. Yeah, he'll stay there. The leader, on the other hand, will join him. The 8-1 and squad in DD7 will go to 8E7. And that's it. No CC. Turn 3. Nationalists.
No weather changes.
All right.
I don't have any regular rallying, but so myself rallying in J7.
Nice. That also is... I forget if that's actually field promotion, since it's the first one. Let's check here. It might just be heat about it. Field promotion. Field promotions.
Yeah, that's the first MMC rally attempt.
But it's also self-rally is the more important part.
Yep.
So, in addition, the attacker may create. So you have the chance for leader creation. That's in the CC chart, I think, for whatever reason. So you roll 1 dice. There is a +1 for being broken. Plus
because I'm also GMD.
what's their... Well, they'll rally regardless. So we'll unbreak them, and their morale is 7. Okay, so it's just +2.
Nothing.
Jeez. That's like the second time, too. My broken guy can't rally, so DM comes off.
I got a bunch of machine guns to unbreak here.
Yep.
So the light machine gun in K10. It's not. The heavy machine gun in J9 dies.
I will attempt to break my gun. All right. Called shot. Worry about that later.
Yay. Well, okay. That does something. Okay, I think that's it for everybody. Yeah.
Yep. For rally, anyways.
Quick fire. The squad and the machine gun in X10 will fire at U8. That's going to be 5.5 up 2 for the unconcealed squad, and 2.5 up 2 for the concealed squad.
Sorry, X10. Why? Oh, right. Sorry. I wasn't calculating the half for range. Yep.
Yep. So here we go. So let's see. So 7 on 5 essentially is a pin task check against the. It's a pin task against the unconcealed guys and nothing against concealed guys.
Oh shit! Did I? Think I forgot a sniper roll for. Yeah, I forgot a. Oh, whatever. Too late now. You're San, I believe that is. Oh shit! Hold on, sorry. That's my San. This allied. Sorry. If we trigger your sniper, I'll just give you the 1. Whatever.
No, it's okay. All right. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of shitty when you only get so many snipers. I fucked that up.
Okay, let's see here. Units in C10 are going to fire at units in E10. So that's going to be a 6 up 2. Units in E10 will fire at the squad in CC9.
Okay.
So that's going to be a 10 up 3.
Mm-hmm.
That is 8 on 10. Normal round.
They pass.
Have a rate. I will fire again.
So 2 up 3?
Sure. And yeah, that does break down, thankfully. Movement phase. The squad in V10 will dash through U10 to U9.
Okay.
The squad in M10, or one of the squads in M10, will similarly dash into U9.
Okay.
A squad in T10 will dash through T9 to S9.
Okay.
Second squad will repeat the motion.
Mm-hmm.
Unit in N9 will assault move into N10.
Okay.
The leader in V10 will dash into U9.
Okay.
Assault move.
Mm.
Assault move. Sorry, assault move there.
Okay.
This is a regular move 1.
Okay.
3.
Okay.
Assault move.
All right.
Regular move 2.
Mm-hmm.
3, 4.
I will definitely shoot there. My infantry gun doesn't have the -2. That's just something I forgot to move or would have applied to the vehicle, but anyway, so we'll just do 2 hits. 8. I'm on red numbers, so no matter what, that can't.
That's not an acquisition. That's your bore sight.
Yeah, but my bore sight, you can't keep bore sight if you shoot at something else or change a covered arc. And I would just regain AC because I shot at him. So I don't get the -2 for that shot. I was just saying like it's not. I just didn't move it to the vehicle I shot. But they're excuse me, they're good.
No, you still get it, I think, right? I mean, I'm looking at case M64, and it basically says, unless you move out of your initial setup location, or is being fired by other than its original crew, you still get it.
Really?
Yeah.
I could have swore you lost bore sight if you did anything else. Bore sighted location. You had a defender. Choose bore sight. It's vehicle covered arc, not just covered arc. EMG, unmarked sec. Really? That seems strange, but alright. I don't think I would get it anyways, or I wouldn't get it anyways because the building is already a +2. So there's still no hit.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But yeah, you do get the bore sighted location unless you're acquired. Yeah, basically you have the choice, I think, between M or N. So if you have an acquired target, you don't, bore sighted doesn't
Gotcha.
doesn't they're not cumulative, I guess.
Yeah, that I figured, because otherwise it'd be kind of broken.
Yeah. So, but yes, you still get that as long as you don't move the gun out of its space, which I don't know. Does that happen very often?
I mean, I can see reasons for it, but I can't imagine that it's all too common.
I was gonna say it just seems like it's a pain in the ass, and it's not very useful in the time length of these scenarios.
If I think the way I would see it is if you don't have enough turns for it, yeah, it's not worth it. It's probably the only way I would look at it.
One of the units in D9 is going to fire at CC8.
You're still in move phase.
Failed. Sorry, yeah, no, I'm sorry, yeah, that's my fault. Defensive fire. Go ahead.
Okay. We'll do Z8 to Z10. as a 3 flat. 6 on 3. PTC, sure. U8 will shoot at U9 as a 10 up 2. Malfunctions the gun. R8 is going to drop concealment and will shoot at S9 as a 12 up 2. They don't cower, thankfully. 6 on 12 is a 2 on C. Don't really have too many options with this. Maybe I should have shot at him. The Berserks will try their luck against C10. So it's 6 firepower up 2. Pretty sure that's nothing. 9 on 6, no miss. That's a bummer. I will have one unit drop hip. And they will shoot at C10 as well. Apologies, I have to unhip this. So they're bore-sighted, so it's just a flat 4.
Can I see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So 2 on 4 is a K2. I don't believe they cower. So 1 takes casualty reduction. It's not a KIA. So half squatted, and then they both take a 2 MC. All right. I have rate of fire, so I'll just shoot at the same group again. And break the gun. All right.
Actually, I don't think you do.
What, break the MG?
Yeah, because I don't think you get rate. I think the rate of fire is dropped by 1, so that should be a rate of fire of 1, right? Yeah, you did roll 1. Never mind.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was looking wrong.
No worries. I'm gonna try. I'm not sure if I get the view on this. I probably don't. V6 will shoot at U9, so it's a 3 up 3. Roll. That's gonna be nothing. Line of sight. Oh, I do. Okay. It's still a miss, but on a fire, and I think that's it. That's fire phase. Excuse me.
The units in U9 will fire at U8.
Okay.
Leader directed, so it's going to be 12 up 2 against the unconcealed unit and a 6 up 2 versus the concealed. No, I'm sorry. It's going to be a 6 and a 3, respectively.
Yeah.
Nothing. The MMG in the squad in there will also fire at that unit in U8.
Okay.
So that is going to be a 4 up 2.
Yeah.
The 2 elites in D9 will fire at EE10. So
Okay.
that is going to be a 2 up 2. LMG and squad in T10 will attempt to fire at U8.
Okay.
Do not break the gun, though. Fairly sure S9 surrenders.
I believe so. No, they can actually run away. They can go through T9 because the T8 U9 hex side is Orchard, so there's a +1, so you can run away.
Alright, then I'll go back to T10.
Sounds good.
And actually, these guys will continue routing.
To D8, sure. Excuse me.
That's it.
All right.
There is a chance for ambush. But if those guys are concealed, I think they have to be revealed. Hold on one sec.
Yeah, because we already showed that like you have to determine if people are real or not. Technically, it doesn't.
But I don't know if it matters if there's another squad in the hex. That's the thing.
Well, I can tell you right now, it's a leader. So, regardless, he will be providing support. So ambush roll.
You're partisans. I think it's stealth.
I'm stealthy, and my concealed guy will get me another -2. That's bad. All right, no ambush. Just take that off. So I'll fight whatever 1-to-1 with the squad and your leader. Just one squad and leader.
Okay, so you're at 1-to-1, and I'm at 3-2, I believe.
Yes. And hand-to-hand possible, if you declare it.
No, let this go.
Damn.
Of course, not coming.
Nope. Melee. I think that's it. Start of the turn. All these guys go there. Can I do that actually? No, I have to have one guy off. Sure, I will do this guy. I'll just put him there. Cool. Weather, no change. Still haven't gotten falling snow. It's at this point, it seems like a rip. Rally phase, I've got... Can't repair that broken MG, so I've just got this guy. And nope.
Okay. Nobody. I think I've got one broken LMG. She does not.
Right, do I have any actions in rally? I don't think so. So, prep fire. Oh, yeah. That's a dumb thing. I'll do that after. Z8 will shoot at AA10. So it's a 3-up-1. That will not do it. Pretty sure I can't see those guys. It's gonna do that. Needs to move. Infantry Gun is just going to shoot to try and break or blow up or start a fire in F9. That will not do anything. Anybody else? Oh, oh, wait. I thought I didn't have that guy there. Sorry, I have a guy here that needs to rally. So, self-rally won't make it. Sorry about that. He's not... I'm just going to move him anyways. But, the crew in CC8 is going to shoot against these guys. It's a 1 firepower attack because they're at range. So 1 flat. Jesus. 1 flat 3. So 1 MC.
So wait a minute. Why are they getting their bore sight bonus if they're not firing a machine gun?
Oh, you know what? You might be right. Do they not? For whatever reason, I was thinking they get it no matter what, but you're probably right. So if it's a +2, Pentest check. Let's see what bore sight says. It's most likely right though. How do you have your sniper? Oh, I thought we were just gonna do direction.
No, that's alright. Here, so
So berserkers.
damn it!
I don't think they're a legal target though, because they can't be pinned. Hold on. I have a feeling someone said the bad answer, and I thought that was so stupid. Because otherwise, like, they wouldn't be an eligible target. So why would you be able to pick them? Comes DM.
He's an eligible target.
Are you sure? Because I find that so dumb, and I will. I
All units
don't.
are eligible sniper targets except AFV with no vulnerable PRC, units in subterranean or interior building locations, prisoners, or hidden friendly area units.
All right, I guess. I swear I'm gonna write our house rule about that, because that's so stupid.
I mean, it's just like concealed counters, it just sucks it out.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand concealment to a degree, because it's like, they're capable of fooling the player, and so it's like, oh, it's just a way to sort of play that out, but in a sort of three-dimensional way, like a three-dimensional or 4D chess or whatever. But I find if it's a berserker, like, the unit just is immune to snipers. But why, like, I don't know. It just seems so cheap, I guess the way to put it. Um, and I really wish that there was just something that said, like, they're unfortunately they're berserkers, so they get casualty reduced. Like, that's the I don't want to say danger, but it's like that's the power of a sniper versus berserkers who normally will take shot after shot and survive, but sniper is like their weakness, I guess.
Yeah, it's alright. It is what it is. Okay. Any other prep fire?
No, not that I can think of, anyways. All right. Movement phase. Berserkers have to go first. Um, they have a choice between these two guys. They will go against AA-10. So they must move to BB-9.
Okay, first off, E10 will fire at them.
Yep. So it's whatever they got, -2.
It's a 10 down 2.
2 on 10. 2 on 10, 1K. I think that's also a kill against the LMG. Sport weapon destruction. Final KIA occurs in the IFT. Make a DI roll. You must make a single DR roll. -1, fully tracked. No DR carries over. If final DR is KIA. Okay, no. So the LMG just sits there. Those guys are first fired, which is cool. I'll take that. I'm going to have the 337 that did not shoot in CC8 assault move to DD8.
Okay.
EE7 is going to normal move to DD7 for 2.
All right.
And finish in CC8 for 4.
The squad in A10 will take a shot at them.
Okay.
Sure, why not?
So it's a 3 up 1. Oh shit, I didn't roll my last sniper either.
Go ahead.
Well, we'll do the result of this first. So it was a +1 on 3. Oh. So it's a PTC. Leader doesn't pin, neither does the squad. Sniper for 1 and sniper 2. Jesus. Alright. I'm gonna shoot my sniper one day. I don't think he's ever given me anything. The squadron V6 is going to assault move. Well, they lose their CX first. And will assault move to W6.
Okay.
The squadron X7 is going to assault move to X6.
All right.
Group off board is going to move to Y1 for, or sorry, how did I calculate this again? Oh yeah, they're good. So they move to Y1 for 1. I don't think anybody's going to have LOS on them for a while. Or at all, I forget.
Yeah, so far no.
Oops. Y2 for 2. X2 for 3.
Okay.
X3 for 4.
All right.
X4 for 5. Y5 for 6.
Okay.
Bonus road to Z5.
Okay.
And the other guy is going to do mostly the same. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 to there for bonus road. Excuse me.
Okay.
Crew in U3 is going to assault move to T2. The stack in S8 is going to assault move to S9. And Z7 is going to assault move to Y7 and defensive fire.
The units in C10 will fire at EE10.
Okay.
So that is going to be a 6 up 2.
So they're both pinned?
No, just one. So they're doubled. So 4 doubled is 8. So it'd be 16 normally, but one of them is halved. So it's 6 firepower. Then that would be doubled and then halved because of concealed.
Oh, right. Yeah, because, sorry, I was... Yep. Stop rolling my snipers, please.
So 6 on 6, 1 MC.
Fakeroonie.
No.
And sniper, still nothing. Alright, cool.
The squad and machine gun in T10 will fire over at S9.
Okay.
So that's going to be a 3 up 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's 5 on 3, which is a normal morale check.
That's a shame. I would have loved to have kept that for a little bit more.
The medium machine gun and the squad in X10 will fire at CC8.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be a 5.5 up 2.
Okay.
And the squads in E9 are going to try and fire at DB-8. Yeah, I think that's it.
All right. I don't think I have advanced for. Pretty sure I don't. Road phase. I don't have anybody broken. So.
You know, I think those DMs should have come off. I don't think they should be DM'd anymore.
Guys in N10 for sure. And yeah, I think, yeah, we'll just take them off. And nobody else regained DM, so.
Yep.
Yep, right. Advanced phase. My stack in Z5 advances into Z6. The guys in Y7 will stack with X6. God damn it. I hate that so much. X3 advances to X4. Get a +2, so it's whatever. The leader and squad in CC8 go into CC9. Pretty sure that's it. CC phase. Literally no point in me declaring hand-to-hand, so I'm not going to bother.
Yeah, no, it's alright.
So same thing, 1-to-1 versus a squad and your leader.
Of course.
So that's leader generation as well.
I'm going to miss. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I can...
At here? Like, I don't want to force, more turns if you don't want to, but, I mean, unless you, I'm fine with doing an analysis. Jesus, if you want to look at it that way.
I don't think, given my roles and what I have left to do, basically, if I don't capture it by next turn, there is essentially no way that I can see that I can win this, because all of a sudden I have to capture the thing in the middle, which is basically a bunch of assaults across open ground, which you are going to absolutely annihilate me because you just put, like, what, 4 more squads into there, plus another leader, if I'm reading your reinforcements correctly.
Yeah, close to
Yeah,
them.
so 2 of your best squads, 2 kind of mediocre squads, a 9-1 leader, and an LMG, as well as an EC. So that's all going to be sitting in that central area, plus whatever you had in there prior to it. You still have an infantry gun, so I'm not going to be able to approach over across that bridge without getting utterly croaked. You have enough strength in the multi-hex building over here that it's going to be pretty much impossible for me to take it, particularly given that, I don't know, how many fortified building hexes did you get? Like 4?
I get 3.
Yeah, 3. So there's either another one there, or more likely there's two in that central building, which is going to make assault even harder because I have to break you in order to get in, and I have to. There's basically minimal way I can put that firepower on you because I have to sit out in the open with just the wall for protection. Let's see. I can't really cross the road because you will be able to cut me off through V6. I can't go through the center bridge, and the right bridge is covered pretty handily by the infantry gun to the point where it's like there's no way to get up there without getting utterly smashed, basically. In addition to the turn limits. So yeah, so next turn I would have to capture. If I captured the CC8 building next turn, then that would be victory. But I don't think I'm going to do it because I don't have the strength to do it, particularly with that fortified building. And my dice rolls have just been absolutely heinous. So there you go. Yeah, I just don't have the position and I don't have the time to do it. Like it goes to 9, which means I got to now capture at least one of the buildings across the way.
2, because DD7 is not factory, right? It's just 1 point.
That's true. Okay, so yeah, so it's even harder. So yeah, so that's not a factory, so that's only 1 point. I do believe the buildings north of the canal are 2 points, however.
Yes, I think
7 if I got that, then 9. So that could theoretically, if I can do that in the next 2 turns, I could theoretically win, but that's probably not going to happen. At which point I then have to capture either the center factory or one of the other buildings up north in another turn, which is not going to happen. Yeah, I don't really see any way to victory for myself in this scenario. I waited the middle too much, and my dice rolls were too horrible, and yeah, I'm just not going to do it.
I'll be honest, I think if I had one major criticism, or I shouldn't even say major criticism. Forget I said that word. If I had one criticism, just period, I think it's just it's movement and lack of movement. I think that hurt you the most, in the sense that it's nice to take shots during defensive fire. That's not a problem because you're not moving, right? It's I have to do stuff and move around and whatever. I think the problem though is that like you're conceding and you've lost half a squad. And not to say that this position necessarily is recoverable, but more that I think there's a CVP limit, but 12 and a half squads, you can lose them quickly if you're caught in open ground or whatever, sure. But I just think that there are circumstances that could have been a lot different and would force me to make a lot tougher decisions and gain you position at the same time.
I'm not that good a player.
Oh no, I know. I'm just.
No, I am not that good a player.
I'm sure.
I like to push my guys across open ground. I think the smoke is kind of silly because it seems somewhat pointless to me. I think it's a +1, but you're getting doubled because you're adjacent to somebody, so it's kind of useless trying to cross open ground. I don't grasp how the hell to use that yet, so that's that.
Sure,
every time I try and push without any kind of supporting fire, all my guys get chewed to pieces. They get broken. They get kicked back. They tend to surrender. I'm just bad at it.
So it's not. I really hope the takeaway isn't that I'm trying to say you're a bad player, because that's not what I'm trying to say. All I'm saying is that, for example, let's say we were to play the next turn, right? My initial thing would be, if I was on your side, like this pin goes away, so we'll discount it. I don't know what guys you have necessarily here, and we'll say 50-50 odds. They're not DM. You rally one guy, so whoever just got rallied in the back, I would be sending them one movement. If I shoot, I'd be silly because you get the +2 wall bonus. You continue to DD10. Okay, now I have to make some really tough decisions. My MMG is one broken. Even if I repaired it, it can't shoot there, or at least very unlikely.
But I can't get into the fortified building. So yes, I can
Sure, but
units on either side of it, but I cannot get into that building.
so
Basically, all I get to do is hang out in the road while you shoot me to shit 1 hex at a time.
well, hold on. So here's the what I'm trying to get to, right? So you're by getting into DD10, you're forcing me to make decisions because I can, sure, I can sit in the fortified location and not shoot, but it hurts my position. If I shoot, I'm committing to a hex of damage, right? Whether it's residual firepower or damage to the unit specifically. But whatever this broken 5 is, it's garbage anyways. It's a half squad, so whatever. So you have them go into DD9. It's it's not about getting into the fortification location specifically. It's about pressure, right? So now they're there, and I now have to decide again whether or not I shoot at them or not. Um, let's say I.
Why would you?
So if I don't, you can have a half squad go into DD8, for example, and tie my guy up in CC. Yes, there's the half squad would be a 3-1. The CCs,
I mean,
I know,
it's a very good chance he's getting ambushed if nothing else.
But it's well, ambush wouldn't be something I would worry about. I get a -1 for stealthy, yes, but it's not that's not big enough to really affect it.
So you're killing me, I believe 66% of the time.
So again,
9 or less on 2 dice. I think that's a 66% chance.
So again, them being there, like even if we like you'd be in movement, so you have the option to advance or not. Let's say you don't even want to go in there, you can advance into EE10, save your guy, right? But if I don't shoot at this guy, and then you decide that you've got an elite guy here, and you
I'm
won't.
sorry, it's an 83% chance. Excuse me.
Sure, but point is that if that guy gets there and I don't shoot, that's someone else later that you can bring up to that same hex. If you then say, well, you didn't shoot at the half squad, I'm sending an elite guy. Is he dare death? I don't know. Does he have some special bonus? I'm not really sure. I tend to not remember that period. But so now you get an elite guy here. Okay, if I don't shoot because that guy doesn't have a DC or doesn't have flamethrowers, you can move again. And if I don't shoot there, or maybe I shoot with these guys. Now these guys can't shoot anymore, right? Or maybe you want to get closer. So, baiting these guys didn't work. Now you got to bait these guys. And even if there's survival or whatever, it's about taking out opportunities. And my dice, your IFT rolls didn't go well. This part.
So
sure.
Yes, I understand that I'm putting pressure on you, and I understand that movement needs to happen. But here's the thing: you're the defender. You don't really have to move all that much.
But okay. So
you have much more ability to do fire on your turn because you don't have to worry about moving units. So my guys all hanging out in the middle of roads and in nothing get no cover bonuses, no nothing, and you have a bunch of pretty good leaders. You got a couple of 8-1s that I can see there. I'm pretty sure one of your reinforcements was a 9-2. So you are going to be doing some pretty nasty shots at me coming in. So I'm going to be breaking a lot. And given the fact that I can't really retreat from a lot of places, I'm going to end up surrendering all these units, which is what happens to me all the effing time. I get up, I push into a house, I get broken, and then I immediately get surrendered because I can't suppress anybody. I can't actually break or pin other units to make it easier for me to advance. The smoke doesn't particularly help me because it eats up half your movement to chuck a smoke 1 hex in front of you. So I think that's only useful in defense. I'm not actually sure, to be honest.
So here's another thing to consider. So this guy, let's say we put him back in E10. Sure, it costs you 1 movement point to get in or 2 movement points to place a smoke, right? But you can place a smoke from this hex into CC10 because you'd be putting into an adjacent hex.
Maybe for 2 movement points.
Yes.
Right, now I can move into CC10, and that smoke disappears at the end of my movement phase, I believe.
Yes, but smoke is still powerful. And if I shoot at a guy placing smoke and you place it, you get the bonus from smoke. It's not ideal because assault engineers, you can smoke, especially infantry, is hard to place. This is 100% true, and I also have a lot of qualms with using smoke. But the point being that you have units here, whether they're half squads, first lines, or elites, that on a sliding scale you can quote unquote throw away. And the reason why that's not such a bad idea is because when you get finally to the units that do have the flamethrower, if I've shot because I don't care whether or not you're moving a flamethrower or not, or if I shoot and my guys break, if you throw in,
Why on earth would you shoot at me?
because I don't know how the rolls will go. I might think I would rather kill a half squad and put residual rather than waiting for a juicier target who then has to go through residual. But
Well,
if
no. That's what I'm not understanding. Like, you can see who I have around. Like, there's flamethrowers over here, but like, why would you shoot at anything but something that could potentially break you? You know?
because I never know how the dice roll, right? And you can have shitty dice. You can have, well, I mean, we've both had long strings of shitty dice. Our fucking support weapons always break, right? Like, even though we joke about it all the time, it's still a reality. So I could easily get a shot that maybe I'm thinking, yeah, it's a down two, and when I'm running in the roads, you're throwing down threes and fours and fives, and my guys go like, just look at my berserker guy. Yeah, he had to move, so I have, I have a good excuse to having lost a squad, but that sort of thing still is what drives my need for position, right? I don't want to sacrifice. I don't want to back down from here because it's a fortified location. Ultimately, I could have, because even if you capture this building, you have no line of sight here. So it's a matter of putting pressure and and calculating that you won't move because I have pressure there. But if you do start moving, maybe I won't want to take that chance anymore. Um, your the flamethrowers don't get halved in advanced fire phase, right? So if any of the flamethrower guys survive, that's a 24 in advanced fire phase.
Yeah, sure. No, I understand. So what I'm saying is, knowing that I can't get into that hex, right? That all I can do is get
Well,
around you.
so
Like,
assuming you can't get into the hex.
I understand that you don't necessarily want to have me around or let me run around in front of you. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're all you're concerned about is a DC or a flamethrower, which is pretty much the case, you're going to hold your fire for that, right? You're gonna maybe
Presumably,
fire the 337 on whatever half squad. You're gonna save the guy in the fortified building for the really important one because he's got a bunch of fire with or he's got the leader with him, so he's gonna be probably down three, right? He's gonna be double down three.
sure,
So
but
yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying is yeah, sure, but at a certain point,
think about it this way too. If you wait until the last guys to move and I don't shoot, only the flamethrower guy will take a -3 shot in this instance. So in the defensive fire, if I don't take a shot while you're moving, instead of a -3, it's just a -1. Sure, I can hit more units, but is that more beneficial? And if I quote unquote waste my shot, or if I shoot at the flamethrower guys and I succeed, you have the ability for multi-location fire groups, and I don't. So if you have guys in BB-8, BB-9, CC-10, and TD-9, that's an immediate encircle, and you get your normal firepower. So because you're doubled and halved. So it's things like that that can heavily change how a game is played. Like the fact that I lost both my concealed stacks was admittedly annoying, but it means that I can no longer play around with either of those flanks. You now should know what I have, so I can't take as many risks with moving him back and forth, right, between these two positions and these three spots. So for example, if you had two guys here, you've got a 447. Why not shoot with one guy with the flamethrower, for example, um, or not, and just saying, you know what, I'm going to take the risk at 447. I'm just going to assault move in there. You don't get bounced back as hard. There's not as many issues, quote unquote, with the move if I shoot, and you would have revealed that they were fakes a turn and a half before you did.
I tried.
I know. I'm just saying this
I
isn't.
was actually planning to do that, and then the shot got lucky and revealed them. So,
I'm just.
Yeah. No, I understand about the fakes. I understand about. I was trying, but I don't think that I have the strength necessary to do it. I don't
Right.
think I'm in position, and I think that the escalating victory point conditions just make it unlikely at best, particularly given the strength of that fortress located that thing's guns. Because I'm guessing there's at least 2 fortified building X's in there.
Nope. Only Z6 is fortified.
Well, still.
This is what you missed.
Yeah, well, there you go. So
But,
yeah, so any attempt to go over that bridge is going to get fucked because they're going to just get annihilated.
well, again, assuming like, yes, it's my big squad, my big gun.
Yes,
But
that's a big gun.
But if I miss, like that's the sort of thing is all I'm trying to say is that slightly more aggressive. I think it would be a different battlefield. I think
Watch next time. Next time I attack, I am going to be insanely aggressive. I am just going to keep throwing units at you, and I'm going to lose because they are all going to break or die. You watch.
Well, as long as the only thing I will suggest is if that's your game plan, plan out route. Because, for example, like it wasn't a bad idea to get into S9 because even though they broke, which sucks, yes, it's a turn you'll lose having to maybe move a leader away or whatever, trying to rally them will suck. But I couldn't take advantage of killing them outright because they just ran back to T10. When my guy broke in AA10, they were screwed. I didn't plan their routes properly. Same thing with my guy in X10. I instead of just taking the interdiction loss and just losing a half squad, I lost a full squad instead. And as a defender, that's a pretty big thing. And me staying there jeopardized, another unit. So it's stuff like that. That if your plan is being super aggressive, then I would just suggest you look at that.
It doesn't. Nothing that I understand as tactics actually works. Nothing.
Well, then maybe we need to. Do you think if we got like a third person, then maybe you played with somebody?
No. I mean, if you're gonna play somebody, pick up somebody else that actually knows what the hell they're doing, so they're actually a challenge for you.
I think the there's always the added difficulty of the dice. You're getting better. This isn't an indictment of your skills. I'm just saying if there's something I would point out, it would be that there's a turn that you could have done a bunch more moves. That's about it. Like your guy's in E9. I don't even think you even moved him in the last turn. So. It's just small stuff like that.
The ones in E10 here?
No, the guy's in E9. I don't think they moved last turn. And it's like the concealed. Well yeah, I can see him because I moused over. But
D9 was a bunch of dudes. I already had 2 elites and a flamethrower sitting there, and I can't move up into F9 because they're just going to get shelled by the infantry gun that has nothing else to shoot at. So they're there to reinforce whatever push I was going to make up north, but that failed. So, or that was not going to go off until next turn at best.
Right, but
that's not going to happen. So yeah, no.
But it's a move from E9 into F9, and again, just examples, right?
Moves should have purpose. If I'm just moving to move, it's not doing anything.
But
it's
if you
giving you a shot that you would not already have.
But if you move to F9, if you look at probabilities, right?
What does it open up?
So if
you choose whether or not your infantry is going to shoot at it, what else does your infantry gun have to shoot at? Your infantry gun cannot see anything else because I'm not up there yet.
Well, it covers the entire road. So if you shoot at F9 and I don't get rate of fire, which I can't, the guy doesn't have rate of fire, I can't shoot at F10, BB10, BB9, etc. So that's one less unit that's covering that. So the only thing I have left would be the Z8, and provided my MMG doesn't repair, CC9, right? So it's another avenue to get around. Again, I don't want this to sound like I'm trying to be overly critical about the way you're playing. It's first and foremost it's about fun, right? And um, I think that if maybe if there was like maybe I can look up like a good tutorials on attacking positions.
It's
Um,
all right. If I'm not getting it by now, how many scenarios are we into this? 26.
Something like that. Actually, it's probably 28. I don't know. We're near 30, that's for sure. Um, but that's the thing. It takes a long time to figure it out. Trust me. I had to play a lot of scenarios before I like thought about how the map is, what terrain is advantageous. I still don't understand shit like bocage. I'm still not gonna figure that one out for another like 3 years. It's it's tough, 100%. And sometimes you need an article or something, and it tells you that one piece of hidden knowledge, and everything clicks, and you're like, oh shit, yeah, of course, I
Yeah,
should be rolling.
technically. Yeah, it's not because I don't understand I don't understand their logic. Machine guns are absolute shit. They do not work. They do not do anything that is useful or special in any real way.
Mm.
Uh, my troops are pretty much ass across the board. Um, I don't know. Or I don't know where to put my machine guns to make them useful. Because it seems like every map is such tight fucking terrain that I've got 3 hexes of range with a machine gun. And it's like, why the hell are you giving me 10 hexes? Because I can't see shit.
Well, looking at this map, X10 is a great position, especially earlier on, because you have line of sight to, I mean, a lot in terms of cutting off movement. Um, I I think like anywhere in the factory in board 49, um, if you can cover either the road up north, regardless of whether or not the infantry gun can see you or not, I think that's great. Uh, the roadblock's just there to be cheesy, but like if it wasn't there, you'd have a little bit more open sights on the right, and my concealed guy in FF9 would be screwed. I wouldn't be able to run away, so I have to basically forfeit him. Um, trying to think, like if you can get into if U8 goes your way, it can, close combat aside, blah blah blah. That's not a bad position at all. It gives you view into at least two of, like, one hex in the factory for sure, where my concealed guys are in X6. You can see V6 getting in there. You know, I fortified it, but someone else will play it completely differently. Getting to V6 allows for more lines of sight there, and you can cover the entire north side.
Well, I mean, odds are I'm going to lose that melee. Just
Well,
just because I'm now at a 1 to 2, and you're at a you're 1 to 1, but you get a minus what, 2, minus 1.
so that's another thing too, right? Like if you're if you're attacking, do you just send in, like, after I let everybody go into U9, is there a point where you say to yourself, I'll throw a guy into T8, and if I don't shoot, that's the guy that's going to advance into the building and soak up the ambush roll before something else happens, right? It's just there's ways to think about it. there's obviously dice are ever changing, and you can never guarantee anything. You know, you can look at stats tables, and they'll be they can reveal a preference on and the benefits to certain roles for sure. But um, yeah, I think it's just a way to look at it. And if you want, I can look up to see if I can find articles that'll help out, or that might give advice or show examples if it'll help, and you want to. If not,
It's not
then
worth it.
well, anyways, I can only say like I definitely want to keep going as long as possible with this. If I don't want to force you to keep playing if you don't want to, but I also hope that this isn't, especially this scenario of all of them. I hope this isn't the one that gives you a bad, like, leaves you with a bad taste in your mouth. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I'm playing this because I said that I would, because it's somewhat enjoyable. Like occasionally it's enjoyable,
Mm,
but I am not a fan of ASL. I don't think it's a very good game.
yeah.
I think that there is a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed. You know, like I think it could be a good game, but I think that the resistance to actually reviewing any of the rules and actually, uh, kind of condensing the crap. I mean, why should I have to look in a comment on something, you know, from to figure out what a rule is? Why should rules have interpretability? You know, like
Mm,
I mean, like that's the kind of thing that you would think after what are we on 40 years of this game now, that they would have clarified it down, like actually revised the goddamn rules and put things together. You know,
right.
I mean, it is what it is, and I don't, like I said, I don't grok ASL tactics, which are not anything like normal tactics.
Mm,
Like you can't do bounding fire, right? Because it doesn't work that way. It's like this. Everything is a fucking human wave attack.
right.
You know, I mean, you said it yourself. I got to send one unit at a time to try and draw fire. One unit at a time. One. Yes, it's making you make choices. Yes, I understand all that, but it still looks silly. Like, is that how World War II or pre-World War II combat was? Did they really send out squad after squad, one after the other, trying to draw fire for some
Well,
reason?
I mean, I don't know how much of a 1-to-1 it is, and it's probably silly to even use it as an example. But if you play a game like Band of Brothers or Brothers in Arms, sorry, you play Brothers in Arms, and you for U.S. infantry tactics, it's you have one squad shoots, the other moves, right? And if you
Yeah, but
have
that's what I'm saying is that me shooting at you has no effect unless I actually damage you. If I break you in some way, that's the only effect that suppression has, is actually breaking your unit and forcing you to retreat. Okay, there's no concept of suppression. Okay, and that's what all of the machine gun, that's all the German tactics, everybody that had some kind of machine gun. That's even what that bounding fire you just described. One unit is firing not to kill the other squad, to keep their heads down so they can't fire at the maneuvering squad, right?
so to pin them.
And ASL does the exact opposite. The maneuvering squad is covering for the other squad.
Well, you don't think that getting you don't think the pin results are part of
The
that?
pin results are so rare
Right,
that
but
they're
you can
not a
break them
factor.
or you pin them, right?
Yes, but it's very hard to do that. It's less than a 50% chance to do either one. It's
Sure,
certainly less than a 50% chance to pin somebody. And if you have reasonable troops, I mean, everybody's what, 7 morale? So let's see.
but would it be more realistic for you to just be like, I shot at those guys, so they're automatically pinned?
No, but I think some kind of suppression result should be more common. Like I
Well,
think if I'm firing
that's why we're playing the IIFT though, because you get
sure,
more
I understand that.
conditional.
So okay, so if 2 of my elite squads fire at you,
Hmm,
okay, so that's 40 guys unloading on a single unit or a single area. I have a 50% shot of getting a slightly better than average morale check at flat odds.
Well,
Okay.
so the first
Flat
would be
off, I have
if
that's a 1 MC. So a 7 uh, on an 8 firepower is a 1 MC. That's
yep.
assuming no modifiers. That means I'm not firing at you. You're just standing in the open, right?
Hmm.
If you're in a
So
building, all of a sudden I need what? A 5?
well, it depends on building, but yes.
So if I roll a 7, if I do 50-50 shot on that, now I'm up to a 9. That's a pin task check.
Right.
And you still have a 50-50 shot at passing that. So my math is not strong enough right now to figure out what the odds are of that, but it's pretty minimal. So that's with a +2. That's you in a wooden building. If you're in a
Right.
stone building, I don't do anything to you. If you're in a stone fortified building, I doubly don't do anything to you. And in fact,
If we're always taking averages, yes. But if we're taking averages, then literally on any normal morale check, I pin, right? Because it's a 7. So any result that's a normal morale check or a pin, well, pin no, but if it's a normal morale check, I automatically pin, and anything better, then I automatically
no,
break.
on a 7, you have almost a 60% chance of passing it. You have a 58%
But
chance of passing
we're
it.
talking about 50-50 though. Like if you always roll a 7, then on a normal morale,
No. If you are making a morale check at I'm sorry, 50-50, yeah, a 7 or less is a 58% chance. So
okay,
6 or less is a 41% chance. But a 7 or less so you have a 16% chance of rolling exactly a 7. Okay?
right.
So you have less than a 20% chance of actually pinning them, and they have a pretty good chance of passing, because even if they get pinned, they still pass their test. So yay, they're pinned, they have half firepower.
But if we're talking about a normal morale check though, if you know what I mean, like if it's a normal morale check, then there's the 50-50 chance that one
Well, it's
they'll
not a 50-50 chance, that's the thing. Apparently 7 or less on 2 dice 6 is a 58% chance of success.
okay. So on a normal
Almost.
morale check, I pin automatic. Like
Uh,
if we're just gonna go with if every roll is a 7, right?
well, it's going to be I'm just saying, that's the average roll is a 7, right? That's usually what a 2d6 will be.
Sure,
7 or just 8,
which is
right?
why a lot of squads are the average morale, right?
Right, but on average, you actually, on more than average, you will pass your test. So, yes, there is a 16% chance that you will fail, but there is a 40% chance that you will simply pass the test. Or, I'm sorry, there's a 16% chance you'll pin, there's a 40% chance that you will pass the test. Either way, you are not breaking. Okay, so you have a 60% chance, more or less, of not breaking at all, but only a 16% chance of actually rolling exactly your morale, and thus
Right.
hitting yourself. That makes sense?
So again, like I think the way that it's phrased just seems like if you want to play favorites to like you'll pass your pin test check, 58% of the time, or you'll pass your normal morale check 56% of the time, or whatever it is. It's like okay, but if we're throwing in variables like, well, it's 58 that you'll pass it because we're being good, and you can roll lower than that. So really, like you've got all the other things. It's like saying like, well, I'm discounting the fact that I could roll less than 7 or whatever on my attack. And yeah, I'm in wood building, so it's a +2. And if it's a stone building, sure, but like this also assumes that you're always going to have 8 firepower, or that you're not going to have a
Well, no, I mean,
vehicle.
often you're not going to have that firepower, and I get that. I guess what I'm trying to say is that the normal tactical thought that I would think would be fire then maneuver. You want to fire to suppress the enemy and then maneuver around him, and it feels like it's utterly inverted. Like what you were just describing to me is I'm maneuvering units to pull your fire so that I can then continue to maneuver units. Like fire doesn't really have any effect per se.
No,
And
what
I'll
I'm
be honest, maybe this is just a consequence of the types of units that we're playing with, but it doesn't really seem like fire is all that effective necessarily. Like you have to get a really good roll for fire to actually do something. Like it just feels like if I don't get into constant melees, I don't get anywhere. Like it seems like all this stuff is just to set up me assaulting into your hex, or someone to assault into a hex to get into CC. And That
But
seems really weird to me.
do you think that that is a consequence of not having an article or something to that would do a better job than I've done at explaining attacking? Because yes, movement is important, and me giving examples earlier of movement options doesn't negate shooting within prep fire. It also doesn't negate taking opportunity fire. If I've got guys that are concealed, maybe you throw a half squad to try and reveal that position, and your opportunity fire guys don't get the halved firepower. So you're shooting at full firepower without the half against a squad that's now unconcealed in whatever terrain. Um, I just think that I don't necessarily disagree with the argument or the comment of like, yeah, sometimes it's hard to break units. When God knows how many scenarios back when I had a fortified house that I had surrounded with 4 partisan units. I don't have multi-location fire groups, so anytime I want to shoot, it's incredibly tough. And like that's the nature of it, right? Like you gotta hope. I have to hope that even though I'm shooting with a lot of dinky units or I'm putting them in vulnerable positions, the victory condition is still what it is. I still started with more units, and I have to leverage that so that even on a pin, I can get in that building, for example. So it's just I get the
No,
frustration.
I understand. It's like flanking is not a thing. We have had encircled units 3 times, I think.
Yeah, but that could just be a factor of just like the way that we're playing our movement, or like, when you have a scenario like what was the one I just did on the forums? It was like Visions of Grandeur, the one where you couldn't CX for the first 5 turns. That really hurts the ability to do like true encirclement, not just flanking. And I mean, you had your cavalry guys that had moved up quite a bit, and you can get flanks off. This one, this map specifically, not really, and that has to be admitted to. But that's also something that the scenario designer had to have thought about as well, right? Like this map is way too skinny to do proper quote unquote flanking, but it's not impossible.
Well, that's what I'm saying is flanking should happen at a tactical level, and it doesn't.
But
I understand they got to extract some stuff, but it doesn't feel like what is an MMC supposed to represent? A squad, like 8 guys,
yeah, 12 guys, 8 to 12, I think, depending
8 to 12
on
guys. So yeah, so what should be happening is 1 or 2 guys should be doing base of fire, and 1 unit should be flanking to left or right to try and enfilade the enemy and force them to fall back. Right?
sure.
That can't happen, really. Like, yes, you can do maneuver, kinda, but if I have 2 guys, like you just said, if you have 1 guy in a building and you're defending, and I have 3 units coming after you, and 2 of them are doing firebase, I've failed.
I mean,
need to have all of them going in, or 1 guy back, maybe doing some fire, while the other 2 kind of probe to try and pull your fire, right?
I mean, there's a lot of variables there that I like. Sure, we can assume that
just in a vacuum. If you have 3, say 337s attacking a single enemy 337 in a house, they are
Sure.
set up kind of across a road, shall we say?
Sure.
Like that would be what you would do, right? You'd split up the 337s that you have, and you move them into 3 different hexes adjacent to the unit, and try and draw fire to one of them so that the other 2 would be unmolested, right? I mean, am I misunderstanding the way you're supposed to be attacking? Like you wouldn't fire at the unit in the building, right? Necessarily, unless you had a lot of extra units just kind of hanging around.
Well, again, there's a lot of variables there. Do I absolutely need to take that building now? If so, then yeah, maybe I'll be charging across the road. If not, and I think I have a turn to throw away, maybe I'll just say like, yeah, I got 6 firepower. There's a +2. That failed. That could be an NMC. That's a kill. Dice will fuck with you until the end of days, and I think fuck it, let's just do it some more. Like, yep, I got a 12, I got an 11, 9, 6. There's 3 good rolls there, and some of those would be MCs, some of those would be 2 hits, and whatever.
I guess
And
what I'm trying to get across here is that if I'm thinking about this in terms of like what an infantry unit would do,
hmm,
they would not do that. They would not charge out into the open. Like that's the stereotype of the Russians, right? The giant waves of troops running across open fields getting mown down by German machine guns. Like that's where my disconnect is. Like I want to put down a base of fire and have my units maneuver while the enemy is suppressed. Like
yes.
if I get 4 squads up, I should be able to try and put fire on the unit to try and do something to them, and it doesn't feel like that's something I can do. So I don't know if that's me, I don't know if that's you, or that's the game. I'm not sure what the hell it is. It feels like they just want me to kind of willy-nilly human wave shit, and it's kind of annoying. Like it doesn't really reward tactics. It just means get bodies and throw bodies until you get adjacent and then advance in and close combat them.
Well, is
Like, bayonet charges. What is this, World War One shit? Come on.
so then the next issue is like, then would it, like, why not have a guy move here, try to discover if they're real or not? Oh, they're fake. Okay, now you got there. Now you go into here, try to reveal, see if this guy's fake. Oh, he's real or not. And then I might not know what you're gonna do. I shoot at the guy in EE10, break him, whatever. And then this guy now goes around here, and you're not gonna get shot by anybody in this building because the line of sights are
No,
shit.
I did that. I had
You
2 units here.
you had nobody go here.
Yeah, because it's the middle of nowhere. It's open ground.
Yes, but
I
it's
can't
open.
walk over it,
But it's
so I'm just
open
gonna have to run
ground.
around.
But it's open ground that doesn't have good line of sight. It, like, if you want to
Really,
talk
that's
about,
a perfect line of sight from both of these hexes. So before
okay,
this
but
revealed as a dummy, I have to assume that it's real, right? That's the whole point. I don't have any idea which ones are dummies.
but
So
that's why
basically, you're
that's why
saying
you risk units.
we're back to running units out to try and pull fire. I'm basically releasing pigs out into a field to try and force you to fire at them. That is what it is boiled down to. It's not tactical. It's literally just, do I have the bodies to waste getting you to fire? Because I can't do it through maneuver. Because it's not gonna, like, I don't have the time. I got a time crunch here, right? I gotta push, which means I just have to accept that I'm gonna lose half my force. I forget exactly how much I could probably lose. It's what, 25 casualty points? So yeah, that's what, 2 points a squad or 3 points a squad?
2 points a squad.
Yeah, 2 points a squad. So that's 12 squads I can lose roughly. So yeah, I mean I can lose a significant chunk of my force and not care. But I don't want to, because I gotta assault a bunch of fortified buildings and across some open ground. So okay, I'm gonna have to assault here. You know, I'm gonna have to get across there. I'm gonna have to get across over here. So I'm gonna be losing squads there. So all right, how many squads can I lose over here? How many squads can I lose over here? Then I'm gonna have to go through this, because I could go up to here. I mean, that's probably going to be what I would have to do, particularly once this guy gets revealed. And okay, great. Now I have to cross this open ground, and I'm going to be losing more units there. You got all your reinforcements in, because I have no way to contest that. I'm not saying it's like I get that I could do that, and you know what I was? These guys down here, that's what they were trying to do. They were going to be assaulting in there, but they got fired at and destroyed because I didn't have the ability to move them in. Then I have moved these guys over here. Oh shit, they're pinned. But I got lucky and I managed to reveal those as fakes. So yes, that very much was my plan, to try and advance up here. But I got stymied because these guys broke, and I had to move them back, and I didn't want to move them here.
I don't know. I don't know what to say.
This guy is
I can only
+1, and he's not. He's not going to be very good at rallying them. So I wanted to move them back, and I forgot to advance the 9-2 leader that's sitting here on top of them so that I could rally them.
Sure.
So yeah, I fully get that. I was attempting to kind of turn that flank and move around that way, but I was stymied by the fact that I couldn't move up fast enough because of either fire or because I tried to move up and got broken. So
Sure.
I moved up here. Oh shit! Now there's a hipped MMG that's firing at me, and I got lucky and it broke. All right. But otherwise, that's going to really tear the shit out of me because you got that bore sighted. So yeah, no, look, believe me, I was attempting to maneuver as best that I could, but I didn't. I don't get that human waves are where it's at. So that's what you're going to start seeing. You're going to start seeing a lot of 1 hex movements.
and it's probably going to suck, and I'm probably going to get most of my units broken. And because ASL has these tight-ass time turns, it means you got to plan out your movement that I am hideously bad at. It's probably not going to work. So,
Right.
yeah.
Well, I don't know what to say. I can.
But I am not frustrated with you. I am
Oh,
frustrated with myself.
I don't take it. Yeah.
I'm annoyed at the game. I am annoyed at my own inabilities. I'm annoyed at the die rolling, which was just fucking abysmal.
Mm.
And yes, I got your Berserker squad, but fuck, I lost one of my Dare Death squads, and yeah, I wasn't gonna get to use the other one because the Dare Death squads are weird.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say other than like there's, you've got, you look at Band of Brothers and they've got it's the Battle of the Bulge during the winter and they've got a half squad or whatever that's just walking out doing a patrol, and you can choose to equate it differently, and it's not the exact circumstances and whatever, but you there there will always be guys in front of the rest of the group that have to move in to figure out what's where and to clear space, or just to be the maneuver team. And I haven't read unfortunately I haven't read too many after action reports to verify everything and figure out everything, but I assume that Avalon Hill had a good base idea as to how units should be moving and attacking. And I can only say that, sure, maybe it seems silly that, you have to sacrifice squads and or make the tough decision on who lives and who dies, but uh, I don't know.
Well,
I
that's
just
the thing. It's not a tough decision. There's no decision at all. I have to do it. I have to do it. You just said yourself that you needed to move more. I have to do it.
Yes.
That is the
But-
tactic. You have to keep moving up and forcing the enemy to shoot you.
and you have to choose on which units are going to be. Is it going to be a half squad? Is it going to be an elite? Are they going to? Or if you dare death, you dare death in a start of the turn or at the start of the movement phase, and oh shit, those guys are berserks. Now I probably really want to shoot at them. Stuff like that. Like,
Well, I know I was attempting to use my Dare Deaths, but I couldn't because they have to be stacked with or adjacent to a leader, a good order leader, and they both hexes have to have line of sight to wherever they're going to try and Dare Death to.
right,
And I did not have that for any of my Dare Death units ever.
right. So, I mean,
I tried.
oh, for sure.
I
I'm
was
not.
thinking about the shit. I thought about it. Like, I was moving them up. They were adjacent to leaders, and I never had a situation where I could use it. The leader could see it, or the unit could see it, but never both.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
believe me, I'm trying to take advantage of what I got. I mean, shit, one of my armored cars, I completely forgot about those machine guns, so that's on me,
well, immobilizing it on literally the first turn on the first roll is stupid as well. That's just how do you
that's what
it's
it
an
is.
important part of the.
You're a nice guy.
part of the-
I have a feeling that most ASL players would be dicks. Oh, you didn't declare demotion, so you're fired. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, it feels like I'm ranting at you, and I apologize. I'm just really.
no. It's. Trust me. This isn't. I don't take it personally. First and foremost, I understand it's the game. I understand everybody has their like. We've both had shitty games. We both had bad circumstances for games. And I like the criticism that you're bringing forward, just because it's a different perspective than what I have, and so I admittedly, like, I'm 100% in love with ASL. I will play this until the day I die, but hearing how other people see it does have at least some effect on how I want to introduce it to other people, or how I think if there should be house rules I should be thinking about, or shit like that. And
I gotta be
It's
honest. I've been kind of shying away from any kind of house rules just because I feel like it's enough. There's enough rules load to keep track of already that trying to keep track of house rules on top of it.
sure, but I
It's
think I think there's like there's easy ones that I think come to mind, like with the flamethrowers. You know, I had a game that I was playing against a guy, a nice guy. I used to play him quite a bit. Actually, I haven't talked to him in a while. Hope he's okay. But um, I had four flamethrowers. Two of them were flamethrower tanks. Uh, the first move I did in that game was with a flamethrower tank. The guy popped a Panzerfaust in a building, and immediately Snake Eyes smoked it. Uh, I had two squads with flamethrowers. They both either like ran up, not maybe not in the first turn or whatever. Both of them broke their flamethrowers first rolls. My second flamethrower tank lasted 3 turns, got no results on like 24 firepower. You know, got absolutely diddly squat, and then broke the flamethrower, and then blew up. Just when I see the rule where it's like, you know, the Guomindang have two flamethrowers and they both only get to use it once. Also, the breakdown number is 9. That's kind of shitty. And if you're gonna have it where it's only used once, you should be able to use it. I think the same criticism was applied a long time ago, and now is legitimately a special rule that I don't know a designer that doesn't put it in or that people don't comment on its inclusion, which is artillery. Everybody who gets, if you're slated to get artillery in a game, you get it. The first time you ever play with OBA, you should get the fucking OBA, because why would you get a special rule? You have to learn a whole section of the rules. You know, Vassal has a stupid extension for it that hasn't been updated. Poke to whoever's working on that, but it's something that, you know, you should be able to get to use, because you can fluff it and just say like, oh yeah, well you didn't get artillery in Stalingrad because the guys were busy shelling, you know, somewhere else on the Volga. And fluff wise that makes sense. You can make it make sense, but it's not enjoyable. So people have all, you know, complained about it, and now it's basically a de facto like, yes, your first card will always be black. You remove one black card from the pile, and you use your artillery as you would, because otherwise it's stupid. And I think that there are points in time where, um, whether it's because it wouldn't be fun otherwise, or just because, you know, you're already handicapped in some way, there should be, you should look at house rules as not like a permanent fixture necessarily, but having it nonetheless. Like, honestly, I would have fucking house rule. I would have just said like, dude, don't take the immobilization because it's fucking stupid. On your like, on a first roll, just move the guy. Fun, and like,
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. I don't feel like I have a good enough grasp of the rules to not play by them, if that makes sense.
sure,
Like,
and
I want to, and as you've said repeatedly, the dice are a part of it. Like, you got to kind of take it as they go, or else you're, you know. So yeah,
absolutely,
I understand the argument that yes, it's not fun, so therefore we want to go with fun. And yeah, sure, I understand that. But at the same time, I like to play things by the rules. You know,
sure,
and yes, it's annoying, but it is what it is. You know, it's my fault for next time. You damn fucking sure I'm not going to forget to put them in motion first if I get armored cards again. You know.
sure.
So yeah, I mean that is what it is. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's all right, and it doesn't seem like it's a pain, and then sometimes it just really kind of pushes
It's
my
out to
button,
get you. Yeah,
and it pisses me off. You know. So
yeah, I get it.
yeah, I
Well,
mean, look, if we played this out, I might be able to get close. I don't know. I feel like it would be decided by turn 5 at the latest, though. Like, because it's going to be pretty obvious one way or the other, because it's just going to get worse and worse. Like 12, I think that means I capture all the buildings.
yeah, I think it'd be, I think under normal circumstances it's a 6 turn scenario, because you can spin it around. There's ways to recuperate. Um,
Where were your other hip units, out of curiosity? Was it just the machine gun there?
oh
And
yeah, that was all of them. That was the MMG or the HMG on the on V6 was the last hit. I have nothing else. Like everybody else is real. You got rid of that last turn was when you got rid of all the fakes with those 2 shots. So
Yeah, that's kind of what I was figuring. Yeah,
but I mean,
no,
think about it. Think about it this way too. Like, yeah, just as a last aside for the game itself, right? Like, assume you win this melee in U8. There's a reason why I moved literally everybody back to X6 because I was worried that if you win it, that's sure I have an HMG nearby, whatever, blah blah blah. But I don't know how the dice are gonna roll, so I would rather sacrifice the front portion and defend the sides. So
yeah,
it's
no, I understand.
stuff like this.
I'm trying to think. I think the victory conditions for this one would be better at sudden death on turn 4. Like if you've got 8, you win, and then some other number at the end. If that makes sense.
I don't think I follow because it's already sudden death at 4.
No. So that the only options are like it doesn't have a steadily escalating thing. Like it's like if you have 8 victory points at turn 4, then you win. Otherwise, we go to the end, and it's
I mean, I think it's just a way to put pressure on the Red Chinese because they have to. If the nationalist Chinese either gets lucky or the Red Chinese gets unlucky, however you want to look at it, you have to defend that much more aggressively and potentially retake positions. Like my guy in R8 was going to be essentially just going to stick there and either shoot into V8 whenever your guys moved or attempt for recapturing buildings on the southern border. But it's like it forces the Red Chinese to also make decisions on how they'll affect points.
Oh no, I understand, and that's why I say I think the sudden death is enough, to do that, and then because right now the pressure is the constantly upticking victory points is not pressure on the Red Chinese; it's pressure on the nationalists, and so I think it's unnecessary pressure. I'll put it that way.
I think if you're constantly looking at it and trying to see if you can get the sudden death, yes, I agree. Otherwise, I think it's purely pressure on Red Chinese because that number is going to affect them way more in every case.
Well, let's see, 6 and then 7 for that one. 9, 11.
Like 12 is the entire map, right? So
no, if you capture all of the buildings across the canal, that's 13.
2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15. There's 15 points.
Yeah, and the factory in the middle is worth 2.
So you could skip out on DD7's building and one of the ones above the canal for turn 7, but I mean, you're already at 6, and getting 2 buildings is a win. Now, granted, current circumstances are whatever, but I think it's purely a Red Chinese pressure for those points because if as soon as you regain those buildings, or you gain those buildings, I should say, then yes, I move second, and that means that all of my movement has to go towards attacking a building. Because if I don't move, I can't gain control of a location in a building, and it would be an immediate win. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it this way, if I capture the building, the CC8 building, the fortified building on the right.
Yep.
Then at that point, I have a choice. Say I take that turn 4. I'm at 7 victory points. I then have to either decide whether I'm going to shoot for an all-out assault on the middle building, in which I have 1 turn to capture it, or I'm going to try and go north around it. Okay? Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. So what it boils down to is it stops being worth taking that building because there's not enough points there to make me win.
Sure.
How many? What do I got? 8. There's 8 total on the southern side. No, 9 total on the southern side. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Of the
5.
canal, yes, there's 9.
Yeah, so there's 9 points total. So if I take everything on the southern side by turn 5, then I can do it. But otherwise, I have to cross those bridges, and that's hard because that's a bunch of open ground, and you have pretty decent ability to cover those.
Well, it's
guns or whatever.
It always depends on what survives and what's around, right? Like, I was gonna look this up if we ever got falling snow, but unfortunately we didn't. But if you have a frigid water obstacle, it turns into
No. It's sucktastic. Like, it's not a good thing to cross the canal. The canal does not become passable. I did look that up, and yeah, no, it's not. It's not at all good.
Yeah, I can't find it offhand, which is annoying. But anyways, point is that I definitely understand the criticisms. I just think that sometimes there's enough variables that it's God, what's a cool way to say it, like the what if scenarios of, like, oh, what if the German Wehrmacht was against the U.S. forces from the Iraq War? Yeah, like, sometimes sometimes the comments are absolutely valid, and I think, like I broke my infantry gun on the left. Okay, I can't defend that. That bridge is no bueno anymore, right? Like, stuff like that. So I think under in a blank slate, when I'm looking at the scenario, the victory conditions and the units available, I mean, maybe the HMG is a little bit much. That'd probably be the only comment I would have. Otherwise, like, it's definitely by turn 4, it's a red Chinese pressure because of the sudden death.
So, just for reference, a frigid water obstacle. If infantry cavalry units enter a frigid water obstacle without a bridge, they are replaced by the next lower class unit or disrupted per A19.12-13, or casualty reduced if incapable of both replacement and disruption.
What's the rule letter for it?
E20.7.
20.7. I was looking at the wrong spot.
Yeah, I was looking at that and I was like, oh, can I cross it? No. No, that's bad.
If infantry enter a frigid water obstacle, well, so I mean, I'd fucking do it. I'd absolutely do it. Especially if if I had guys on the left flank and I wanted to get them to do stuff.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, no, I'm not saying I wouldn't necessarily do it, but it would not be a first choice. Because I'm probably gonna be... My left side was a lot of one-string guides, so I'd be dropping my first-line troops to conscripts.
Oh, I just mean, like, just if happenstance I ever got there, like, if I could get a unit into EE5, you bet your ass I'm gonna toss a guy in the water just so that they can advance out and gain, EE3 for free, basically. Because
No, I get it. I mean, getting there would be the tough part.
For sure. But
yeah, no, moving across that frigid water obstacle is not fun. Like, yes, it may be necessary or desirable to do so, but it's really unpleasant for your troops.
Yeah, it's like I wish I could remember the scenario offhand. I probably don't want to say it just because I'm pretty sure it would reveal a tactic that, like, nobody for whatever reason thinks about. Because it's like you could just, a lot of people are like, oh, you have to go through as the Japanese, you have to cross, like, this ford, and it's like, why? Everybody's like, oh, it's such a tough mission or whatever because you have to go through so much residual, but you can do it with the Japanese because they'll just stripe, so it's not even as bad as breaking or necessarily casualty reduction. But it's it's like nobody remembers you can swim. So you just need guys on the other side of the river. So if you swim, you can probably win in like 2 turns or whatever. But anyways, yeah, I mean, all I can say is, you know, it's tough. Attacking is tough. Attacking is incredibly tough. It will always be tough. Yeah, so I guess we'll end it here. If I mean, let me know how you feel about next scenario if you want to play it. It's another from the same designer. We're still in Chinese versus Chinese, I believe. Yeah. Oh, Japanese versus Chinese. Never mind. There's some VP. So there's CVP as well as just regular VPs or CVPs and regular VPs. So building.
Oh, here's a weird one. The Chinese set up and move first. It's unusual.
Yeah. So that's another, twist of how it affects the Japanese player in this instance. But yeah, let me know how you feel about it, and I mean, I'll pick the attackers, whatever. It's not a big deal.
No, that's all right. Go ahead and play the Japanese. I mean, good practice.
Well, I mean, I played as the defenders here, so it's only fair that I play as the attackers. But yeah, I mean, I'm still pretty adamant about finding an article if you want. But I'll, if you don't want me to, just send me a DM. Whatever. It's.
Yeah, no worries. Sorry for the rant. Just getting frustrated.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine. We've all been there. Yeah. So Friday, I'll send you the save ASAP and continue with a pre-World War II attack and defense.
All right, sounds good.
Cool. Talk to you next time.